All right, we're here with Layshia from the Atlanta Dream. We'll start on the court. Just how was the off season? What did you do to prepare for this upcoming regular season?
Did a ton of training, ton of yoga, weightlifting. Obviously, still working on always, for me, being slender, putting on muscle, but leaning out a little more this year. So I thought I had a really good, well-rounded off season.
How is this off season different than off season last year when you were just coming in and not knowing what to prepare for, or just how's it been different your second year with the team and in the league?
It's been good. I haven't played overseas in the last 3 years, so I'm kind of learning my off-season regimen. The last off-season before this one, I was working on putting a ton of muscle on, so I really bulked up. I had to eat a ton, to the point that I kind of wanted to throw up. That's how hard it was for me to put on muscle. But this off-season, I think I could focus on my meal plan wasn't so rigorous, or I wasn't trying to put on muscle, but I wanted to focus on leaning out a little more. So I'm kind of learning the rhythm of what it's like to be off. I take kind of a month off after season, then I get back into basketball and training. So I have a really good balance of rest and working hard.
And just with the Dream here, last year I said you came in, just trying to learn everybody. Now, even talking to Brittany and seeing the others, it looks like you're more of a leader now, or you're leading drills. I saw you talk to players about certain things after practice. How's your role, changed with the team in this new season?
It's awesome. It's so much easier when you kind of know what to expect. Obviously, I got traded, a week before the season started. So getting thrown into that point guard position where you're asked to be a leader on a new team where you've met the people 3 days before you play your first game is really difficult. And so coming into this year, I feel so much more confident. And just knowing the players, knowing their personalities, how to talk to everyone. And then Coop and Carr have just done a really good job of instilling a lot of confidence in me. Obviously, I re-signed with them, so I kind of know I have my role solidified here, and they want me to be a leader for the team, so it's a lot easier.
And looking at the training camp, people like Tiffany, Sancho, they have their commitments, Elizabeth with their international commitments, but you're here in training camp now and working with some of the younger players or players that may be in a secondary role. Just how's that been, seeing some of the potential talent as well that could be with the team?
It's awesome. I think already seeing camp, I think our bench is going to be a lot better this year. I think it'll be a lot stronger. I think we'll have some players that could possibly come off the bench, and that's what you want. You want that kind of rotation when the second team comes in. They're just as strong as the first. So it's been fun to get those reps in with them. Obviously, I don't play overseas, so for me, I kind of need this running, and I need this conditioning, I need this camp battling, and for them, they're going to get a little more rest when they come back, and we know they've been playing, so they're ready.
And last thing on the court, you have Chicago coming up tomorrow in an exhibition or scrimmage, I guess technically is the term.
Yes.
I know it's not as different an exhibition or even a regular season match, but is the team excited to face somebody else and see how these plans are going to work against another opponent and everything like that?
Definitely. I mean, you get kind of tired of beating up on each other, and so it's fun to be on the same team now and to try and beat up on the other team. We know they have some really big girls in Imani Boyette. We're going to have to really work on boxing her out. And, Tamara Young. And so it's going to be fun for someone to not know all the plays, but they're going to pick up on it pretty quickly, and they know last year. So anytime you can match up and just get some live action, now we're going to have film out of it. Now we're going to see how everyone played, how we responded, how we turned the ball over, we took care of it. Anytime you can get against a game-like opponent is a good thing, so we're excited.
And off the court, you've been very active as well. You have released an article about some personal experiences that you've had, and even last year, I think we talked in the past about you expressing your feelings as well. How's that been received? And you're seeing your profile grow with that, and having this higher profile, has it been beneficial towards promoting some of the causes you have?
It definitely has, and that's just kind of part of my brand, is kind of living out loud. And so I wrote the article recently about being a sexual assault survivor, and I thought it was really important to kind of come to terms with that, and a personal decision to come out and talk about it, because I know there's so many women who have survived this, but just have to live in the silence by themselves. And so to just use my voice and my platform for good, and I get so many messages that say, hey, I was struggling with this too, or whether it's, I wrote the Players Tribune article a couple years ago saying, people, hey, I'm getting Christian, I'm struggling with it, can you recommend books, can you recommend a church? And so those are always fun little reminders that remind me why I'm doing it, on the hard days when I'm tired, or I don't want to be on social media, or I don't want to respond to things. It's like, it matters, and it's helping people, and that's, for me, basketball is such a fun sport, but it's always bigger than that. So it's having this platform to make a bigger impact.
A lot of players look at that as a distraction, the off-court causes that you talked about. How do you find that balance as far as, obviously, your professional job as a professional basketball player, but how do you also balance that with being a human being and dealing with those experiences? How do you find that?
Yeah, it can be tough. Like even last year with some of the Black Lives Matter stuff, or this year with the election with, we won't say his name, being in office has been difficult because you have to take those moments of self-care and when to engage and not engage. So I've had to learn that balance of like, hey, I can give of myself, I can be public and social, but I don't have to give of myself 100% of the time. Like, it's okay for me to not be on Twitter today and not respond, and I can take that time when I feel it kind of draining or pulling on me. But at the same time, I get so much from it, and I get so much energy from the people who message me, and it becomes like a little social family network, and so it's worked out really well. It is a balance though.